and welcome once again to all the Eastern fans. I hope that you're having a great week. LPL and VCS are going on strong, and I'm here to talk to you about them. So let's start from the LPL first, because, well, there's not much going on the Rift. As I said last week in the last video, you can check here, the games are a bit, sluggish. There are not many great matches, and the tournament it is feeling a bit nearing its end, meaning that the playoffs are close, and we still have to watch some key matches that are going to define how playoff are going to look. So these key matches are barely like 4 or 5 across the last 2 weeks. Okay, so one for sure, it's going to be Royal against Top Esports on Saturday. You should definitely check that one out. Both teams can still get first place, and it's very important in LPL because first 2 teams are straight to semis, and both teams really want it. Slightly less important is LNG against Suning. Both teams aren't looking too hot. They are still very well inside the playoff zone, and they can also move a little bit up with their last few matches. I don't think they will break into top 4, not even in the series, but everything can be changed. And aside from that, most matches are a bit, of little value. Very much are one-sided. I already talked about it. Let's move on to something else that I asked to the fans, because I had a survey, since the standings, as you can see, are very close at the top. And there are a lot of teams that can end up top 4. So I asked, which team is going to miss top 4? Which team are going to make top 4? And there's, as you can see on the standings, there's 6 teams that are really competitive. And there's Royal Never Give Up, Edward Gaming, Team WE, FunPlus Phoenix, Rare Atom, and Top Esports. So I asked around, what's your top 4 looking like? And what I got from fans is this. The most likely team to get top 4 is going to be Royal Never Give Up, and with just one less vote, Top Esports. Then we have a pretty large gap with EDG next. And then what's surprising is that we have next WE and FPX with the same amount of votes, so in the fans' eyes they are equally likely to get top 4, and barely 1 vote for Rare Atom. So I understand that few people believe in Rare Atom after their loss to LGD. This is understandable. I don't think it takes away from their huge, maybe unexpected, maybe undeserved, I don't think so, win streak. They had like 7 series in a row. You don't do that in LPL, or maybe you do, right? E-Stars, right? V5. Maybe they're just like the next, meteor, and they're going to vanish as soon as playoffs start. But as of now, they're clean. They're playing very well. I think there is a scenario where Rare Atom makes top 4. If not in playoffs, in best of 5s, at least in regular season. Of course, I think best of 5s are a very different challenge, and the teams at the top are looking very stacked. Rare Atom is mostly young people, young players, and rookies, so best of 5s are going to be a real challenge for them. But until then, I think there's value in putting Rare Atom top 4, whereas FunPlus Phoenix is kind of getting hit by the lack of, a single standing jungler, and Nuguri is also dropping in his level of performance, so I think, my opinion, of course I gave you the fan vote, but my opinion is TES at the top together with Royal. Top 2 doesn't make any difference, like first, second place, it's they're the same. And then we're gonna have WE and either Edward Gaming or Rare Atom. I think FunPlus Phoenix will miss the top 4, but then they will catch up in best of 5s if Beishuang performs up to standard. Best of 5 is also like a very challenging environment for a rookie jungler like him, so it's going to be very interesting how everything turns out. I also want to add something outside of LPL, but not yet VCS. It's like LDL, according to what Yevlen provided on Twitter. You can find the link in the descriptions for more information. So there's, after Bo's investigation, that was kind of the last straw of, a real tangle of match fixing scandals going on, and everything came out at the same moment. So as for now, the LDL is suspended indefinitely, and investigations are going on across the league. This is very big. Imagine, like, I'm just going to make a very quick comparison with the ERLs, the system that we have in Europe, is that like every league gets stopped because there are so many teams that are going on match fixing that is really unsustainable to keep the league going. So they're pausing everything, readdressing, redesigning, and try to make sense of what's happening. This is huge. This I cannot state it again. Like, there were many cases where players were forced to determine a result by the managers, by the coaches, and that was the only way that they could have a shot at LPL. Not by being good and actually playing their best on the Rift, but complying to what the managers told them. This is very sad, and I hope that they are going to put some order in the LDL, because it stops achieving its purpose, which is creating new talent. So I'm really glad this is happening right now. It is a massive scandal. I will try to bring you more information, but if you want details like real time, follow absolutely Yevlen and other journalists. I will link them in the description so you can follow all of them. Okay, we can move on to VCS now. VCS is the exact opposite of LPL, meaning that the teams across all standings, they are so close in level, except GAM maybe, but all the matches are really interesting, and you can never miss anything because wins are everywhere and everything can happen. We have seen Buffalo losing a bit of their momentum against Cerberus. They are still playing without posts, but still, considering that Cerberus is a team that's playing with a roster that I did not want because they have a Pun in the top lane and Shuhao instead of Ego, they're turning out great. They're now tied at 6-3 with SBTC and Buffalo, so that is absolutely great for them. I still hope that maybe in playoffs and for best of fives, Ego might get to play some series if he is back healthy. But until the regular season is over, I don't think he will play any games. We are also having BTS resurging with a 2-0. I don't think this will be enough to make playoffs, but now they're pretty comfortably safe from the relegation zone, and this is great for them. Their coach Han Kai expressed a bit of concern, like saying it's not over yet, we're still working on improving more. I think they are determined to get to playoffs. It won't be easy. It won't be likely, but it's great that they are like standing on their own and getting their wins. What I'm going to talk about next is Secret. Secret is in a pretty dire situation with the poor start that they had at the beginning of the split, starting 0-3. Now they're trying their best to make this playoff run, but the recent loss against GAM made it very hard at this time. Top 4 is GAM, and then SBTC, Cerberus, and Buffalo all at 6-3. And Secret is at 4-5, meaning that there's a large gap between the top 4, and it's really hard that they can break into playoffs. One key match, absolutely important for the standings, is going to be on Friday. Team Secret against SPTC. This will be clutch for them. If they want a shot at playoffs, they need to win that series. No ifs, no buts. They need to win. Only chance. We also have SPTC against GAM, and that's going to be also probably a banger. Very interesting. And GAM against Buffalo. I still believe, despite that loss, that Buffalo is still quite comfortably a top 2 team. In my opinion, that loss against Cerberus wasn't because they were the worst team overall, but they tried to play out of their comfort zone, which is admirable that they are doing this now instead of waiting for playoffs or not doing it at all. So they're probably already comfortable with where they're at in the standings, so it's okay if they drop a few series in order to improve their gameplay, add more dimensions to what they can do, and then meet the best of 5s with a really much matured playstyle. So I'm not taking too much out of their losses, and I will say for this series against GAM, they will turn it up. They will show up their best, and no experiments, no out of comfort zone. They will play the top league. So watch on Sunday, GAM against Buffalo. I might be at the VCS with my faithful dum-dum hat. So meet me there, maybe, and have a great Eastern watch. See you next week.